Hi, my name is John Galler. I'm a lead TSA in the Premier Support team here in BMC Software. In terms of the agenda for this session, I'm going to discuss some of the major changes that have been introduced in 1902. So I've broken it down into the user interface, so how we've changed the overall look and feel of the application, followed by the administration side of things. So the first major enhancement would have to be around progressive web application. So PWA is a cutting-edge new technology that essentially gives you the feel of using a native app in your web browser, so whether that's on your desktop or your device. So this comes with a number of advantages. So the first advantage would have to be that you don't have to worry about licensing your application from an iOS point of view. And then the second advantage would be that you simply have to open the URL in your browser, log in, and once you log in, as I said, all of the functionality and features will be the same as a native app. There is one iOS limitation in that iOS currently doesn't support push notification or QR code scanning. So if you require both of these features, then you will have to download an application from the App Store. And once you download the application, then you simply log in, and the rebranding changes that you had previously made within the MyIT or Digital Workplace administration menu will be reflected. Another interesting feature is around the My Activity page. So as you can see, we have classified events into active and passive. So active events are anything that's essentially open and has activity associated with it, active activity associated with it. And past events would obviously be everything else. So we also have a new bundle progress bar. So as you can see in this screenshot, I have 3 items in my bundle, and the first item has been requested, the other 2 are remaining. You can also switch this view here into more of a kind of a list view, or you could have it in this format where you can simply click a button and scroll on to the next one. And we can also refine by status down here for past events. The next one's in and around search. So we now have a clickable search history. So Digital Workplace will always record the last 3 search terms that you've entered. And as you can see from the results here, I'm after typing software description, you can see that it's returning a VPN troubleshooting knowledge article, which has a software description in the details. And there are also other requests down here in the all results section, but I can also filter on the type of information that's being returned as well. So we also improved our bundle view. So once you open the bundle itself, you can see that in the case where we had ordered 3 items as part of that bundle, you can see the details, individual details of each of those requests within the bundle. And as you can see in this example, I've expanded the workplace management request, and you can see all of the details of this particular request, and you can see there's a counter here showing that I actually have 1 comment associated with that request as well. And as soon as I click this little arrow, it'll pop back up again. Another nice feature is in and around approver views. So previously you could only see a number of approvers, but you wouldn't actually see the individual people assigned to that approval, whereas now you can clearly see each member or each approver that's been assigned to this particular request. We've also moved social to the preferences page. So this is quite convenient, as you can simply click preferences, and as soon as you click preferences, all you need to do is tab across people, groups, or social, and then on the right hand side you can see where I'm after tagging Merry Man, and I've also tagged an asset, in this case the printer, to let Merry Man know that it's actually broken. You can see it's picking up the location as well. We also have our approval settings, of course, which is still available within this page. And within this section, you can see we have an area which allows us to choose the default collaboration group as well. Another minor change is in and around service health. So we have moved the service health tab into My Stuff as a separate tab. So the first item is My Items, and if I was to click service health, then I would see any services associated with service health here. So next one is around collaboration. So we, as I said previously, we have moved it to preferences section. So you can see here that I actually have like 4 people assigned to a default collaboration group. Next one is in around custom page. So starting with this release, we're giving you the ability to change the overall look and feel of your own page. So in this example, what I can do is I can select a particular component, whether that's a catalog section or a banner, and then I can choose to reorder each of those items as I feel. So you can see in this example, I have my banners up in the top here, and then I've actually dragged my search bar down into the middle, and I have my past events down here. Another great feature is around the rebranding tool. So as I said, with this release, we don't have to worry about the clients as much, and the rebranding is done on the progressive web application side. So for example, as soon as I launch the rebranding tool and I'd like to change the colors and the navigation style, I can simply do that by clicking the light or the dark color here, and you can see I've given it a name, Era, and then I've added in a logo here, which is just the shamrock symbol here, and I've also changed my color here to green. So once I'm satisfied with those changes and I click the Apply Changes button, then all the changes are automatically reflected here. So you can see I have my shamrock, and I have my green catalog, and the line is green here as well. And if I was to click on any of the requests, it would be in line with that color scheme as well. And you can see the bell and the cart icon of green color as well. And obviously, if you were to launch that within that URL within your client, you're going to see exactly the same. And obviously, if you were using a previous version, or you had to code from an app point of view, it would be a lot more time consuming to do that. Here's an example of how it'll actually look on an Android phone. So first of all, you can see the updated color scheme, and here in the middle you can see that from Android, on the Android side, you have the ability to add the custom logo to, in this case, the shamrock, to your home screen. You can't actually do this with iOS, because as I said, iOS, you would have an app that you can download, but you can actually also use the progressive web application, as I said previously, on your iPhone. But you won't have push notifications and the ability to QR code scan because of that iOS limitation. So you can see here the rebranded logo is also visible in here in this section, and that's it. So as far as like the features are concerned, so we've also added in, as you can see, the ability to disable or enable social, shopping cart, and a lot of customers had asked us to include hide rating, so that has been included as well. And we can disable similar KAs and feedback. From the catalog point of view, we have now the ability to include questionnaires when you're copying your workflow. So previously the questionnaire wouldn't be included, whereas now all you need to do is choose whether you click on copy workflow and then choose whether you want to include those questionnaires or not, and they will come across with that workflow. Next one is around the date duration. So if I want to specify a certain window for one of my questions for it to be available, then I'll select that duration here. As you can see here, I've specified the window start and then that window end date. And then the next one is around, from the catalog point of view, is around tagging questionnaires. So if I wanted to tag a particular question, all I need to do is enter the tag, whatever it is down here, and then I can subsequently use that tag in, let's say, another piece of workflow. So we have a questions and answers variable, and within that questions and answers variable, I can use a custom property with tag for use in another subsequent piece of workflow. One other change around the administration side log level, I can simply log into Digital Workplace Client and I can quickly change my log level to error, info, warning, or debug. So this is quite powerful, as you don't have to worry about having someone left the debug level on, and the log files can actually build up quite quickly. So you can control that quickly from this section here, the configuration section in the admin console. And we can also do the same within the catalog itself. You simply click on application settings, followed by logging, and then choose your log level here.
Okay, so let's get stuck into the rebranding demonstration.
So the first thing you need to do is navigate to the admin console, then the configuration menu, followed by branding, and just give it a second or two to load up. And on the right hand side, you can see a preview of how it's going to look as you're changing it. So I'm going to call it Era, and I'm going to change the style to light. And I'd also like to add my own custom logo. You can see it's uploading, and there it is. I can also change the width and the height of that logo, but it looks fine the way it is, so I'm just going to leave it. Let's change the color. So I'm going to select green, maybe a darker green. You see a nice little preview here. And if I tick this box, you can see the text color has changed. But let's leave it a white color. And now I'm going to change the secondary, give it a lighter color, and I'm going to leave the text color. And the active state color is fine as well. Now, if you're using Remedy Single Sign-On, you can ignore this section. And G. And you can see it's found it. One thing to bear in mind is that depending on how large, obviously, you need it, you can change the size using an editor and then place the logo in that location. I've decided to keep it the same size because I prefer a smaller logo, just so it doesn't overwhelm the whole page, and then choose my own background colors. So you'll see what it's like once I apply my branding changes, and I drop my CSS files to the relevant directory. So I'm going to leave the direction. I'm not going to repeat it. And I'm just going to change the color style here. So I'm going to give it a green, and then change it to kind of a blue here. Background color, again, green. Leave the that color there, and once I'm satisfied, I simply click Apply Changes. Now at this point, it begins to generate the code. So let's wait until it's finished processing. Typically, this part will take about 1 minute. Nearly there. Okay, almost finished. And now it's done. So if I was using ORSSO, all the necessary branding would be complete at this stage. And as you can see, we have our new color scheme here and the little custom logo that I uploaded. You can see my new custom logo, the white background, the custom name. You can see when I hover over each of these items, the color changes to green, and so on. So let's switch over to the client side. If you're using Android, all you'll simply do is enter the web address of the Digital Workplace server and log in as normal, and for all intents and purposes, it will have the same functionality as the previous app. Now for iOS, there's actually a limitation in terms of push notification and QR code scanning. As I said, it's more on the iOS side rather than DWP. So to work around this particular issue, we have placed an application on the App Store that will allow push notification and QR code scanning, as well as obviously all of the other functionality that we provide. So let me switch over to my iPhone now. So the last thing we need to do is download the Digital Workplace client itself. Open the App Store and search for BMC Digital Workplace. And there it is. You can see it's version 1902, build 41, which is the latest at this time. So click the download button, allow push notifications, accept the license agreement, and let's enter the server details. As you can see, it's already picked up my custom logo and my color scheme. So let's log in. And there you go. See, it's picked up my custom logo and my color scheme. As far as the resources are concerned, there's a number of good resources online. So the first one would be the obviously the Digital Workplace features for 1902, which is available in both the blog, the What's New blog, as well as our documentation, of course.
A few self-help and contacting BMC options. We have a YouTube channel that is available 24/7, has helpful videos as well as webinars such as this. The schedule for the BMC Helix ITSM and Remedy webinar schedule is available on Communities, as well as the product support pages have the documentation, patches, video references, and knowledge articles that are available also 24/7. Contacting technical support via the normal channels, web, email, and phone, as well as the social channels that are available as well. This webinar recording will be available on our BMC YouTube channel, as well as there will be a link in communities as well. Thank you.